Hey, I'm Jimmy from Superpath, and today I'm here with Benyamin Elias, the content director at ActiveCampaign. How's it going?
It is going great. Super excited to chat.
And so you're coming to us at the moment from New York, but typically you'd be in Chicago. Is that right?
That's exactly right. In New York for a little while, stay with family, but generally I'm in ActiveCampaign headquarters in Chicago.
Nice. And so you all are hiring for a content role. I believe it is the title is Growth Content Marketer. Before we jump into that, could you just give us could you kind of paint the picture about ActiveCampaign? Who is ActiveCampaign? Where is ActiveCampaign? And tell us just a little bit about the product and the company.
Yeah, absolutely. So ActiveCampaign, I came to ActiveCampaign a little over 2 years ago, 2.5 years now. And we are one of the fastest growing SaaS companies in Chicago. When I started, we were at around 200, and a year before that, it was like 20.
Oh, wow.
And right, super fast from 20 to 200. And then since I started, we're at around 600 now, and have opened offices in Sydney, Dublin, and have a presence in Brazil. So really enormous growth in the email marketing, marketing automation market. We are often compared to people like MailChimp and HubSpot, but at the same time, we really focus on the category that we've termed customer experience automation, which is taking those individual channels and really making sure that you are giving a customer a full, complete experience with your company, with your brand across all the places where you talk to them.
Nice.
So really exciting place to work when it comes to the marketing team, which recently last September got a super experienced SaaS CMO in Maria Pergolino, and incredible career growth opportunity. Like, I started as a content writer, moved to content manager, and now I'm director of content marketing. And the speed of that growth is what creates so many opportunities to dip your toes into new areas and get tons of experience and get really cool results.
That's awesome. And so this role specifically, the growth content marketer, what is that role like? It sounds like this person will report directly to you. And also, in addition to just talking a little bit about the role, what is the content team structure? How many people, what kind of different roles are on that team?
Yeah, totally. So it's pretty interesting. So at my time at ActiveCampaign, it's changed a good amount. We initially were really focused on the ActiveCampaign blog and scaling that up and making sure we had this strong base of traffic. So we went from around 8,000 organic visitors a month to that blog to, I believe May was 200,000, and really focused on scaling that.
Nice. That's incredible.
It feels great. It's a great percentage too. As soon as we got to 4 figures, I was like, oh boy, 2,400%, fantastic. So we've had a lot of success in that area. And with that success and the new needs of the company as the company has scaled, right? We now have over 100,000 customers versus like 40 or so thousand when I started. I think it was even a little lower than that. As the needs of the company have scaled, the content team has expanded too. So the content team now includes still some of the same writers who helped us scale up the blog and get that really strong base of traffic that we can work off of. But also one person has moved over to focus more on the webinar side of things, especially as more people are remote and we're not doing events due to COVID. We have 2 video folks who are producing in-house video, and then also scaling lower production videos across the team. We'll add lower thirds to self-shot videos, those kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
But a really cool mix there. We have someone who's focused on building our automation recipes, which are pre-built automations that exist in ActiveCampaign. That's like a whole new distribution channel that goes from within the product to also we have an external ActiveCampaign marketplace, which this team launched. And there are SEO opportunities there. There are promotion opportunities there as well. We've got a social media manager sits on the content team, as well as the project manager for the ActiveCampaign website. So we really touch a whole lot of different of the owned channels at ActiveCampaign, and there are tons of, we'll, I'm sure, get to this a little bit when we talk about the marketing team at ActiveCampaign, but there are tons of opportunities to work both in the traditional content sense of like, okay, we're going to scale traffic, right? But we've scaled traffic, so we know we can do it. Also, across teams, across to product marketing, to revenue marketing, customer marketing, there's different areas. There are a ton of ways to get involved with that.
That's incredible. So this person, it sounds like there will be obviously some content creation, but there were some other interesting things I noticed in the job listing. This person could be repurposing and refreshing. They could be repackaging other types of content in a text format, stuff like that. can you talk about a little, like, how will this person's time be divided up? And just roughly.
Totally. If we're thinking like maker manager schedule, I think it's going to be pretty much 50-50. I
Okay.
think there's going to be a good amount of writing and editing that comes with the role. And then a good amount of, with editing, you have to be getting those contributions from somewhere. So there's working with our channel partners and integration partners, as well as our partnership folks, to be working through the submission process of that. Is working across the product marketing team and with our SEO team. I think there are, and there are things like when we talk about repurposing content, I've never seen an approach to repurposing content that works by just plucking something from here and putting it over there. So there's a mix again of not necessarily like the super intense, like you need to come up with an angle hypothesis, all these different things that you're demonstrating from scratch there, but there is still some opportunity to do some writing work there as well.
Gotcha. It sounds like your content function and really the whole company is like, it's an opportunity for someone to come in and get exposure to a really professional operation. Like, I recorded a podcast recently with Janessa Lance, who runs marketing at Fishtown Analytics. And one thing, she was just reflecting on her own career and talking about how she has sort of expanded and contracted in terms of company size that she works with. And so started a small company, then went to HubSpot, and was, that experience. And, as she explained, was it was incredible to work with, you're not a one-person marketing team anymore. There's, in that case, dozens, maybe hundreds of people working in content, sales, paid, all these different things. And it sounds like this would be a great opportunity for someone to come in and, have the opportunity to soak up a ton of knowledge from, like, really a bread and butter SaaS company. Like, when I think of SaaS, this is ActiveCampaign is exactly the type of company that I think of.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super cool to be able to work across these different teams and experience that mix of, here's our own content channel. Here's like the traditional numbers that people look at. And when you look at content case studies and content marketers, and everyone is focusing on blog, SEO, organic growth, those kinds of things. These are things that we care about, that they're not the only things that we care about. And I think there's a really cool opportunity for someone with experience in the thing that people talk about a lot to come in and like really work with that while still expanding into those other areas and getting some really cool growth opportunities.
One thing you mentioned in the job listing was soft skills. And I'd love to just chat about that for a second, because those are, for obvious reasons, can be hard to measure during a hiring process.
Yeah.
Are there specific things you're looking for?
So I think the biggest thing there is, because of that environment, because we have a 30+ person marketing team, it's closer to 40 now. I keep losing track of the number. We used to all fit around one table, and that's not true anymore.
Oh, wow.
Unless it's a really big table. When we think about soft skills in that environment, a lot of it is looking for win-win situations. I think there's a tendency, and I've done this in the past too, and I'm sure I still do it occasionally, where people are like, oh, I don't have the resources for that. Or someone comes with an ask, and I'm like, I don't know, like, no. We protect our time and we make sure that we're working on things that are high value. But at the same time, I think there are often opportunities to say, oh, this is the priority that you have, right? This is what you are working on, and this is what we are working on. And there's overlap there that we don't spot if we go for no first. But if we just dig a little bit deeper and work from that, from a curiosity mindset, from a collaboration mindset, we actually can find the opportunity to work together in a way that multiplies the results without actually adding a whole bunch of effort for anyone. Right.
That's interesting. I just recently read an article about how it's titled something like the skills that got you here won't get you there, kind of thing. Yeah. Like, especially sorry.
It's a great book too by Marshall Goldsmith.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a book. Okay. The concept is so great. Like, especially for content folks, like, writing skills are obviously what gets you started in almost all cases, but the things that help you grow your career, you can build a lot on writing, but writing will only take you so far. And so like this kind of thing, the critical thinking, the collaboration, the prioritizing, understanding business needs, analyzing data to help make good decisions, all that stuff is, it sounds like some of it will be required for this job, but also be a good opportunity for someone to get in and hone those skills too.
Totally.
Anything else about this role that we should know?
So a question that I get, I'm just going to preempt you potentially asking.
Yeah.
A question that I get often when I'm interviewing is, what do you like about ActiveCampaign, right? Why wouldn't you ask that as a candidate? And it's to the point where I have like my 4-part answer to that question, which is how you know that I am a content marketer.
Yeah.
my four parts to that answer go from like the little tiny details that are really important to the really big picture that is arguably more important. And they go from, ActiveCampaign is going to make sure that you don't have to worry about stuff. When we're in the office, we get catered lunch and things like that, but we also have great healthcare. We have great 401k match. We have those general benefits, the kind of thing that you can take to your friends, and I have taken to my friends and mention them, and they're like, oh my God, you get that? But it's not about the perk. It's about that mindset of ActiveCampaign makes sure that you don't have to worry about things. And we really look out for our employees in that way.
That's awesome.
The second component of why I really like ActiveCampaign is this team is super fun, right? You can't like scale at this speed without being intense, and we are intense. But people say work hard, play hard, and I don't feel like that's how you describe it, because work hard is like this much and play hard is like this much.
Yeah.
And the way that I like to talk about it is it's intense, but it's fun, right? It's at the same time. The whole team is like, we'll crack jokes still. We're having fun while we're working on these problems, but we all know that we were working towards these things together. On our marketing call on Monday, someone did a Price is Right impression, like, come on down, to the person who's going to present. Like, there's just fun things that get thrown into normal conversations because the team is so great.
That's awesome.
Third piece we've covered a lot, which is growth opportunities. As you scale, new opportunities pop up. You can hire someone, but that takes a while, or someone can just grab them, and there's a ton of opportunity to grab them. That's super exciting. And then the fourth is we have 100,000 customers. A lot of those are small businesses, and a lot of those small businesses don't run without a tool like ActiveCampaign, and we get to see those stories all the time. And that's something that's really cool to be a part of.
That's really cool. You mentioned, just to touch on a couple quick things you mentioned. One is great healthcare, 401k, things like that. Like, give me that stuff all day long versus ping pong tables and beer and tap and stuff like that. Like, that stuff is so important. So that's awesome. The other thing is, you mentioned the Chicago office. It sounds like this role, you are open to remote. Would you prefer someone in Chicago, or is the company kind of transitioning to remote because of current circumstances?
Mm-hmm. We are open to remote. So for reference, I think I left out our Indy office because who can keep track of all these offices now? But we have offices in Chicago, Indianapolis, Sydney, and Dublin, as well as a presence in Brazil. And in the past, we've prioritized those locations. I think, we are fully remote right now, and I think we're open to remote roles here.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, I think that about does it, unless there's anything else you want to throw in there.
I feel pretty good about it. I'm looking forward to seeing all the applications.
Cool. So there'll be instructions in this job listing that explain what you should do next. I'll help a handful of people with their applications, info about all that here. Benjamin, really appreciate it, and looking forward to getting you some good folks soon.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Take care.
Same to you.